Hey, shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Family Yahweh Shai, by Shem HaRakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is Akia Mahaloya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. I got two videos I want to play. This is quite long. The brother from Vegas, sit down. It's the brother Karatazar. It's titled Esau Knows There Are Black Extraterrestrials and the Ships and Will Eventually Come for Them, which has been reported on these chariots manifesting themselves over decades. I mean, well, I think it was what administration was that? But basically the White House sighting, I believe that was like in 1947 or 1952. I can't recall the date, Salakia. I'm bad with dates, man, obviously. But regardless of that, I have two videos I'm going to play. This video initially that I'm going to play, the last ending of it, has been circulating around for some time. I believe one of the top guys at like NASA, or he was like a scientist or something like that, basically described these intergalactic beings being of 9 to 10 feet tall coming out of these UFO crafts. Another video that I'm going to play by the beloved brother Amwan Gabar, basically depicted the angels as being African Americans, or looking like so-called African Americans, which we know are the Judites of the Bible, or the house of Judah, being Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay. Even there was a book that was written by Issacharite lady. I think it was called like the not the Supernatural, but it was a book that this Issacharite lady wrote, and I was like in a chapter of the book, and she described these creatures driving these so-called UFOs. They call them so-called because we know what they are. Okay, Esau, he likes to demonize anything that comes of the Heavenly Father's consent. So according to him, they're UFOs, which is unidentifiable flying object. Then he changed them to AFOs, which is it's UAPs, unidentified area phenomenon. Okay, basically he's identifying, he know what they are, but we know them as the chariots of the Heavenly Father, the chariots of Israel, and the angels, okay, that are actually looking like black and Hispanic men. Okay, in her vision or her story, she gave the account that these angels or these angelic beings had big bushy afros, you know what I'm saying, braids, big beards. And when you look at us, I mean, they're reminiscent of how we look. You know, they look like the children of Israel. They come in the image of the Heavenly Father because the angels are indeed our brothers. Okay, we're actually angels, but we have been handpicked by the Most High himself to come down here and serve out this mission, while our brothers that the Lord has created remain to do other tasks for the Lord, you know, to bring judgment over weather, you know, wealth, health, and just carrying out the messages of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, when we have been sitting here to do the mission. Okay, but we're brothers, we're angels in the flesh that has been brought down to this wicked world to serve our punishment and to also show that the Lord is supreme. Okay, the ultimate creation or the ultimate goal of the Most High, or the ultimate contest of the Most High, is creating the Israelites to put them in the worst conditions to show how they will overcome, which show you the power of the Lord. You know, it's the big story of the underdog. You know, so, hey, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a privilege that the Most High found favor in us to come down here and do this work if we endure. You see? But anyway, I'm going to play, matter of fact, I'm going to play a little bit of Amwan Gabar's video first. Then I'm going to play some of the brothers' video, and I'm going to interject in between the footages, and, you know, we're going to get the precepts that way. So here we go.
Shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4.0. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship, and the people at that Air Force base the commander had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship, and this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5". These tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were...
So, and that proves they were angels, okay? It says they look like so-called African Americans, meaning they probably had Caesars, afros, big bushy beards. And that's why Esau is running scared, bro. Esau, bro, I'm getting geeked off that. You heard what this man... Esau's not lying about this shit. Why would... I mean, to classify something like this, he is not lying about it, man. Okay? He definitely knows what's up. He knows what's up, man. And he knows through the spirit that his time is up, man, okay? Because let's just say, if he wanted to conceal this, he just would have lied about it and said, well, nah, that's not the case. We didn't see anything like that. This dude is actually breaking down. The Most High is putting a spirit on these devils to reveal what the hell they've seen. He said these men were about 6'4", 6'5". That's pretty tall. Okay, I mean, that's relatively short for what an angel is, because an angel could be anywhere between 9 and 15 feet. Angels can get as tall as they want to get. In the other video segment, the guy that was breaking down, he said the angels are like about 9, 10 feet tall. They had to duck to get it from under the craft, man. And these are actual life beings flying around in space, in the air. They're literally hovering over the airspace. They're literally flying over us, man. Okay, he said they were black. So these had to be death angels, man. Angels of war. Okay, they had to be of war because they had battle axes, they had swords in their hands, which is symbolic from the Lord bringing war. So, man, we finna see some shit, brothers, man. We getting ready to see this thing in full throttle. And I believe when the Most High really reveals this to us and shows us what's going on, that's when the elect is going to be confident in what they believe in. Because that right there shows you we ain't got shit to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Our brothers probably said they had these tight-fitted clothes on, man. They was probably brotherly as hell. Bro, it's just like, wow, you know. And I don't think this guy's lying. I don't know why he would concoct a lie like this, especially to exalt our race of people. It's impossible. Esau can't stand Jake. So if anything, he would have threw a spin on this, but no, bro. I want to hear the whole interview. Honestly speaking, he said they look like African Americans, and that's why when Esau come past the camp, that's why he looked the way he looked at us, man. Because they know something is up. And a lot of these Edomites, especially here in the Midwest, in Missouri and so forth, these patriotic devils, man, they know what the hell is going on. They know. That's why a lot of them, they come bowing down to Jake. But see, our stupid ass people, them niggas don't know. See, Jake, man, they don't get what type of power, man, that the Most High is going to harness through us, man. Wow, that's crazy.
Conquerors that had never been conquered. They've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had controlled a large portion of the galaxy that we live in. And this was the statement that Ronald Reagan was making to the United Nations when he said that if all the countries on the planet realized that there was a threat from outer space and from an alien civilization, we would all come together. But he was not allowed to make this statement. What I tell you is true, and the gentleman that you had on before, tell him to look up.
My first question would be, do you believe in UFOs? And if so, what's your knowledge on the subject?
I don't believe in UFOs because I've never seen one, and no one has ever seen one either that could prove it.
So you don't believe in UFOs? Okay. So let me ask you a question. Hypothetically speaking, what if UFOs were to land, right? And what would be more frightening, to see little aliens come out the UFO or to see black men come out the UFOs? Serious question.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
Shalom. I want to start.
And there it is, bro. And you know what? What Reagan said, what that guy quoted, basically that's going to happen. That's 2 Esdras 13 right there. And that all the nations of the world going to come together and fight against this man. And hey, the scriptures tells us, man, that the angels, they harness weapons. I mean, the Lord give the angels control over the elements. I forget what they are. I think that's in Job when they say he give over like to the councils. But it's another scripture too that's going into how the Most High give angels charges over the councils and over the weather and stuff like that. Even in Revelation, I believe when what chapter is that, man? I gotta get better about remembering my chapters, man. But it goes into how the Most High had the angels bound by the 4 river Euphrates, which that's Revelation 7. But each and every last one of those angels had a particular judgment. Okay, you know, the 7th seal, the 1st seal, 2nd seal, 3rd seal, 4th seal, 5th seal, and then you got the 7 trumpets, you know, and then these were all particular judgments that the Most High allowed the angels to pour on the planet Earth, man. So it's gonna get real out here. But to say that they look like men of color, that's very obvious, because it was common fact that the average Judite man or the average looking Israelite was a so-called looking Negro, afro, beard, with a short haircut or braids or whatever you want to call it. That was a common known fact. So basically when the Lord was risen and the angel was in, I believe in a sepulcher, I believe it basically, they thought it was basically a man, you know what I'm saying? Just a regular man, but it was an angel. Okay, you couldn't tell the difference because he had the appearance of a man. You see, so angels can take the appearance of men. I really believe that, and I know that for a fact. Okay, like right now, the spirit world is so vast. Like you have angels all around us, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you have angels. Like right now, I'm in the living room of my apartment. There's angels in here, man. You know what I'm saying? They're around. They're listening. They're watching. They're observing. You know, now when they choose to manifest themselves, hey, brothers, be ready for that. You may come home and you may wake up and somebody may be sitting at the foot of your bed and you may think it's like, what the photo father? How the hell you get in here? Like, I anticipate that. I anticipate coming out of the bathroom and somebody sitting in my living room. Like, how the hell you even get in here? But from that fact, I would know that that's an angel, because, you know, the first instinct, you're going to look around, you're going to say, oh, shit, well, ain't nobody break in. Clearly, he didn't bust through the ceiling. He didn't kick down the door. So he just materialized in your living room, which will scare the shit out you. But, you know, we got to be ready to deal with things like that. And me personally, it'll be a pleasure to meet the angel that's guarding me. I like to sit and have a conversation with him and talk to him. As simple as that sound, you know, but I just get excited because we actually have help, man. We have hope. This should give us hope. You know, if there's nothing else in the world, this right here should give us hope, because this is the mouth from the devil, okay, which he's a known liar, but he ain't going to lie about something like this. I doubt it. Okay, so this is the book of Salakia. I've been long with it, but this is the book of Acts 1, and I'm going to start at 9. It says, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of the sight. Now that cloud is a ship. It says, and while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, and we can tell they were angels because they had white apparel. Okay, it says 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye up gazing into heaven? It says, this same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall come in like manner as ye have seen him going to heaven, man. Okay, but those were angels. And what proves that is because they was in white apparel. Okay, but they show you that they can talk. They can speak our language. I mean, they speak the Hebrew by default, but they can speak the English too, because, I mean, shit, like he said, they're controlling everything around us. They're manipulating things, man, via the Heavenly Father's order. Okay, even when the angel came and top Peter said, get up and go out and prophesy, told him to go out there and teach, man. Several times that angels have delivered men of the Lord from prison. You know, like when brothers are getting led to the guillotine, the guard that's leading you up, or the executioner that's leading you up to the guillotine, you think you finna get your head cut off. He could be literally an angel escorting you out the back door, like go and run and get out of Dodge, man. You're going to have shit like, you're going to have miracles happening like that. Here they come get you from your cell. They call you by your name or your prison number. All right, you getting ready to get the death penalty. You got 2 execution, or you got 1, and he's walking you, and you like, fuck, I'm finna die. Oh well, I'm gonna keep the faith until the end, you know. But you kind of nervous. You have butterflies and all that other shit, and then before you know it, you know, the angel takes you to the back door. You look like, what the hell? Just get the fuck out of here. And then as soon as you run out the door and you turn around, he's gone. Like, what the hell? And it happens that way. I remember walking in stores and seeing people down aisles, and I turn around, they be gone. You know, and just some counts that, you know, angels have walked past the camp. You know what I'm saying? Angels have visited us at camp before, man. This is why, hey, be careful on who you dealing with and how you deal with a camp, because the scriptures say many have entertained angels unaware. You know, like back in our younger days, man, you probably curse everybody out, but now somebody's really coming up to inquire, especially if they're Jake and they on one accord and they're agreeing with you and they're finishing your sentences. It behooves you to listen and to take heed of that, because the last thing you want to do is offend the angel, okay? Which, you know, everything is through the spirit, but you don't want them to give report to the Lord that you just out there just shutting up the kingdom of heaven to men, you know, like some guys we know do, you know, with all that fancy shit, you know. Worshiping Nate, oh, these are the saviors. Nate, you ain't no savior, man. Now, the scriptures do refer to us as saviors, okay, on a lower level, but Nate, you ain't getting nobody on a chariot, man. You don't even know if you're going to get on a chariot, you see? But anyway, let's go here. I think this Acts 5. Give me 1 second. Slovakia. Yep, this is Acts 5, and I'm going to start at verses 17. It says, and the high priest rose up, and all they were with him, which is the sect of the Sadducees, and were filled with indignation, and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in common prison, meaning like a county. In our case, a common prison would be like a holding facility, or in some cases, like a county facility, like a jail, main jail. It says, but the angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, go and stand and speak in the temple of the Lord all the words of life. And when they heard that, they entered to the temple early in the morning and taught. Okay, and that's the point. The angels had the power to release them from prison. You see what I'm saying? So definitely angels they're very aware. They're very alive. And literally this last week when we was doing our little Thursday sit down, you know, at the park, coincidentally, that's where the draft of Kansas City, the NFL draft, is going to be in that same location. And we saw all these chariots out there that day. And coincidentally, the draft is going to be there. Meaning the Most High may do something that day. And, you know, Lord may do something. Who knows? But anyway, next precept. And I'm going to go to the other video, but I'm going to play it once the video is ended. That way, you know, we don't, you know, in case they do try to flag it, I can just always take the last part down. All right, so this is the book of Ezekiel 1, and I'm going to start at verses 4. It says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their presence, and they had the likeness of a man. Okay, so right there tells you they were men. Okay, it says here, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, because people think that these angels had faces like goats and eagles. No, that was going into their characteristics, man. Okay, it says they had the appearance of men. So they actually looked like men of color, because when you go down a couple of verses, it describes the color, okay, of being a burnished brass and polished brass, meaning they were of a dark color, man, had a glow to them. Show you that the angels, they look like us, because we are angels, just in these corrupted bodies, but you get the point. And it says here, and they had the appearance in their appearance, they had the likeness of a man. And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the soles of their feet was like the soles of a cow's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And burnish is like a dark color. Now let's look at this. Matter of fact, let's go to it here and look it up, and we're gonna get the color of burnished and see what it means. All right, so let's get it here. The word for burnished is qualal, okay, which means burnished or polished. Okay, so let's look this up a little bit. Get a little bit more. We're gonna look up. Smart tool, compact, varnishing. Polish up, metal. Polish up, metal. But it's supposed to go into the count. They were dark, smooth, glazed. And with the color of brass, we know what color brass is, like a penny color, like a copper color. Okay, meaning that they had color, they had pigment to them. All right, and that's the point I wanted to make. So yeah, the angels, man, they definitely are around us, man. And hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he's getting ready to make his moves out here because, matter of fact, let's check this out. This is the book of Revelation 19. And I'm going to start at verses 10. And it says, and I fell at his feet to worship him and said it to him, see that thou do it not. For I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. It says, worship the Most High. For the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. Okay. And why he tell him not to bow down to him? Because for one thing, the angels are not to be worshipped. Okay. It says, I am thy brother. He says, look, he says, and of thy brethren. Okay. Meaning he was of our stock. He comes from the same creator, or he comes from the same stock we come from. We're just in this flesh, you know. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness doth he judge and make war. And his eyes was as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had the name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed in a vesture dipped with blood. And the name is called the Word of the Most High, which is Yahweh Shai. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, which the horses represents chariots. Okay, a horse represents power. It says clothed in fine lining, white and clean. Because the ships they came in, it had a glow to it. And it says here, out of his mouth go up a sharp sword. Okay, because also Yahweh Shai is known as the angel of the Lord too. It says, and with it he should smite the nations. And then these creatures, he said they had like these swords on them, these weapons, these battle axes, man. Because they ready for war, because this is a wicked ass fucking world, man. You know, you got that folly Superman that they create. Superman's supposed to have been coming to destroy this damn world, not to save it and raise up democracy. That's why General Zod came back to tell him, like, what the fuck is going on with you? You was sent here to destroy this, to put this place in order, man. And that was the whole purpose of Superman. He was really sent here to put Earth in order, to get away all of the fruit cups, the Edomites, all of them. And he was supposed to subjugate their ass. Okay, like when you look at Brightburn, that's the spirit that Superman was supposed to come in. You know what I'm saying? Because all the people that he was clearing up, they was wicked anyway. You see, but this dude, Superman, he comes down and bow himself and allow himself to come into their supreme courts to be tried. What kind of fucking shit? You think Yahweh Shai is going to reason with Esau? You think he's going to, when they are, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they got a warrant out for the Lord's rest. They probably got his face in a bunker somewhere. You catch him alive and bring him to trial. Because Esau said it. An article came out in 2015 about how they said the Most High needs to be put on trial because of momos. Oh, well, we need to go to and get God and bring him on council. So they probably got a arrest warrant out for the Most High. Yahweh shall be having an arrest warrant for you. Come with us, please. Lock him in a common jail, right? And give him a court date. He come to court. Then they try to try him in court. Get the fuck out of here, man. You Edomite, your court systems are getting ready to fall, man. Right along with your child support, your tax system, all this shit is finna fall, man. It's all gonna fall because it's all based on lies and deception and wickedness and witchcraft anyway. But it says, out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he should rule them with the rod of iron, and he should tread at the winepress of the fierceness of the wrath of the Almighty power. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, man. Okay? And that's the point. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings and the flesh of captains and the flesh of mighty men and the flesh of horses and all them that sit on them and the flesh of all men, both free, bond, small. It says both free and bond, both small and great. So this shows you here that the angels has been given a charge by the Most High over the elements, man, over his elements, man. Okay, and that's why he was able to command the fowls to feast. Everything is on vibration of the Most High. He controls everything. They even said it in the video, man. What is this? Job 15. And no, I think it's maybe Job 17. Hold up. Frost. Job 37. Job 37. I'm going way off. Job 37. It's another one too that he said he give the angels over the councils. Matter of fact, yep. And this is the book of Job 37 and 12. And it says, and it is turned round about by his counsels, and they may do whatsoever he commanded them upon the face of the whole earth, man. Okay, so let's look and see what it says here. Counsels. All right. Direction, counsel, guidance, good advice, direction, guidance, and angels are known as guides too. Okay, good or wise counsel, and of the wicked. Okay, so anyway, there's several more scriptures we can go into. Let's get one more. This is in the book of Psalms. Here we go. Psalm 60. Psalm 66. Psalm 60. Psalm 67. Psalm 68. Yep, Psalm 68 and 17. It says, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place. Okay, that's the point. Man, it's just fire. Hebrews 1 and 7. Matter of fact, Psalms 104 as well. It's a good precept. It's pretty much the same thing as here. This is Hebrews 1, and I'm gonna start at 7. It says, and the angels, he said, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. Okay, so the angels is basically fire and energy, you know what I'm saying, which is a spirit. And your spirit consists of, is basically energy, and you have a spark, like they have what they call your central nervous system. You know, you got electrolytes in your body. You know what I'm saying? It's basically the fucking human body, or the car is modeled after the human body. You got your fire, and then you got your electricity, which is one and the same. And then you got the lungs and so forth, you know, the gas, the oil. Okay, but among the angels, basically the fire, the spirits, man. That's why a lot of times angels, they can come in a form of fire. Okay, because it's pure energy. You see, and they can take on the shape of men too, or whatever creature they deem necessary to get the job done. So, hey, the angels, man, they have a very interesting job. But I'm gonna end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Havashai. And with that, Shalom and the Baba Ball. Shalom.
During his keynote speech at the Space Symposium in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Space Force General Chance Saltzman conveyed a straightforward message that the United States has entered a new era of space activities. In an interview with CNBC following his speech, Saltzman, the second ever Chief of Space Operations for the U.S. Space Force, emphasized that the United States is facing greater threats to its on-orbit capabilities from strategic competitors, with the level of congestion in space rapidly increasing due to a surge in tracked objects, satellite payloads, and launches. In his first broadcast interview since becoming the highest-ranking military official of the U.S. Space Force in November of last year, Saltzman stressed the importance of revising processes and procedures to tackle the evolving challenges in space, CNBC reported. Now, this message arrives at a crucial time when space is rapidly commercializing and geopolitical tensions have escalated, bringing about threats that existed beyond Earth to a domain where rules of engagement remain uncertain.
Official revealed today that the U.S. government is investigating more than 600 potential UFO sightings. CBS's David Martin reports newly declassified video shows one flying object that has experts baffled.
An American military drone conducting surveillance in the Middle East. Suddenly, an unidentified object zips in and out of frame. Slow it down, and it appears to be a metallic sphere. But where it came from and what it was doing remain a mystery to the Pentagon. One of many.
We are tracking over a total of 650 cases.
The head of the Pentagon office investigating UFOs told a Senate subcommittee the sightings are concentrated off the east and west coast of the U.S., in the Middle East, and the South China Sea. Here's a second video. The camera is watching another drone when an oblong object flies past. This time, an infrared sensor was able to get a different view and identify it as a commuter airliner.
There's a whole fleet of them.
The Pentagon says there is still no credible evidence any of the unidentified objects came from outer space. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
That you could help get us over.
Okay.
Hey, those things are real.
Okay, but if there are craft, there are beings.
Okay, people have asked me about, I call them vehicles.
Right.
Now, I did not call them objects. That was too neuter for me.
Okay.
I had a Stanford professor said you ought to call them objects. No. They have all of the qualities of a vehicle. They can move, they're just like a missile or anything like that. So that much we can say about them, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm calling it a vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, somebody comes along and says, well, now where would you manufacture one that's 2.5 Earth lengths long? And that's a hard question to answer. However, if you think of it in terms of its living entity, it's just another kind of thing that we've got in our universe. And it can grow and grow and grow and grow.
Okay,
So it can be an MV and it's itself have life.
Uh-huh. So are you not positing the idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us?
Yeah, I only go along with government images. And if you want to know about people kind of thing, there is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard, and they have a picture there of I think it's the Apollo flight that Bugs and Neil were on. But anyway, there's one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off?
Not dark, black.
Black skin?
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is.
Well, what?
I'd say 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's statement about that?
Huge cigar-shaped ship appeared over the Air Force Base. These cigar-shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4.0. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5", these tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had controlled a large portion of the galaxy that we live in. And this was the statement that Ronald Reagan was making to the United Nations when he said that if all the countries on the planet realized that there was a threat from outer space and from an alien civilization, we would all come together. But he was not allowed to make this statement. What I tell you is true.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. In my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together.